Hey, what's up, everybody? Hopefully, everybody's having a great weekend. Hopefully, everybody had a great week. This week in particular, just because the setups were freaking amazing, right? Hopefully, you guys were able to catch some good plays. Things like ARC, MU, a few other ones. Even Walmart was one of the big ones that I had on there that I've been watching on a consistent basis. And plenty of opportunity everywhere with Tesla. Just in general, market made an all-time high, which was pretty cool. So now we're looking to get into some different setups now and looking for some trend reversals and looking to see where the market's going to be going. Just because a lot of things cooled off in the tech sector, and again, the financial sector was one that was very, very hot, and this is the one that I told you guys to keep track of. Unfortunately, it did not happen as great as I would like it to be during the beginning of the week, but it did happen on Friday, and then that closing on Friday just popped every single financial out there. So financials, like I said, over this 37 would be trending back up for XLF. And you go take a look at all these, right? You go look at JPM. JPM gave a nice run, and this is the level that I gave out. Over this level right here, we would have been trending up and then to the target of this high, which is like your 159, 160 level. For JPM, BAC again, same thing. I was looking for that reversal, and it finally happened on Friday. Thursday we closed at like 39, which is at that resistance point, and it was everything just like gapped up and gap and go. Same thing with GS. Been watching this one, and it just went crazy. So C is also trending up. You have MS making all-time highs, and WFC also had a nice breakout on the 4-hour time frame. Definitely on the weekly has still more room to go. But XLF was one of the biggest ones out there. So hopefully you guys caught that, and I really hope you guys are taking some notes when it comes to like a lot of the sectors, because everyone's so focused on things like Amazon and Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook, and the normal tickers, and we forget sometimes that there's other sectors out there that have tons of potential. Lots of charts out there that can be good swing plays and things like that. So ARC was a nice swing play into the next day on Friday. Thursday ended up hitting the target of that 126, which was pretty awesome. So always keep in mind, take a look around at all the sectors and look where the risk to reward is at. The good risk to reward was on the financial sector last week, not in the tech. The tech, you can use it. You could use it for day trades here and there, for scalping certain plays and things like that. But I like to look for the bigger moves. I like to look for something that's going to trend change and catch it before it even does, and potentially catch an early entry. Therefore, we catch the IV pump, and then we're catching some great momentum plays. So it's kind of what happened with ARC, which was pretty cool. We got in the day before early entry, and then it started pushing into strength, and then closed green. And then Thursday, it just ended up going the next day with the IV just kicking and ramping up those premiums, which was pretty awesome. But I couldn't let go of that 40%. So it was a nice swing play for 40%, even though it ended up hitting, I think, a little over 100%. But again, it doesn't matter. I ended up taking profit at a reasonable percentage, reasonable profits, which gave me a good executed trade, and definitely good consistent trade too. Okay. So for this week, I'm going to give you guys a couple tickers that I see that have potential, and one of them is, let's start with DAL Airlines, guys. Okay. First of all, well, let's go look at Jets. Right? Nope, I don't have it on here. I don't know why I don't have it on here, but let's do this. All right. All right. So we're going to be looking at Jets, and Jets, just like I told you, it's kind of like if you're looking at XLF, it's the same thing. You want to look at Jets and make sure that the Jets is rolling up, therefore carrying the rest of the airlines. Okay. So first of all, we've been on this nice little downtrend here. Okay, not a perfect line, but you get it. And then we try to, try to creep up, but then we got smacked down, basically retesting the bottom of this again. And then now we're trying to trend back up. What I want to see with Jets, it's literally break this piece right here, okay? This 2372 to this 2344. I really want to, see some good volume, see some momentum creep to the top just to start seeing a valid trend change. Otherwise, we're going to kind of stay sideways here in between this full level here. And we're not really going to go nowhere. We're just going to stay sideways until we find like a good reason, a good excuse to, fully break out and trend change on, this bigger time frame. Okay, so that's that. So keep alerts on this, okay? 2350, 2375, we're going to look for 24. Ultimately, I want to see 24, and then the top right here is 2460. Jets is not a big mover, guys, so don't expect this thing to, have a $5 move and things like that. It has a few cents type of move, so I don't recommend trading it. If you want, you can, but it's not going to move that big. So with Jets trend changing and potentially moving up forward, I want to look for DAL. DAL has been getting beat down so much. Earnings is done, and so far it's holding that earnings level right here where it caught some support and it caught a lot of volume Friday, and I noticed that it was holding this right here, and it's like a nice doji on the 4-hour, and it's more like an inside day. It was like a gap and go drop and indecisive movement towards the end of the day. But the good thing is that volume came in and it brought in some more attention to DAL. And if you guys think about this, right? Anybody out there who has this stock on their watch list has the same trend line. So because they have the same trend line, guess what? We are trading that breakout of that trend line. We're trading the rejection of that trend line, whichever one comes first. If it's above that trend line, guess what? We're long. If it's below the trend line, we're still short. Okay, very simple. Why? Because everyone out there has the same trend line. Okay, remember that. If somebody has this, the next person has this, the next person has it. They are trading that specific strategy, the trend line break reversal. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. The entry for DAL, a nice little safe entry would be this 4060. Okay, this is what I have. Technically, what I would like is 4030. Okay, that 4035, sorry, 4035, and then the wick, which is 4068. A lot of traders are going to be looking for that. Those two levels right here, as long as we're above, as long as we're inside, I'm in. Okay, my stop loss, I'm going to use it very tight, this wick right here. Very simple trade, right? Enter here, stop loss here, and let it run. That's it. Okay, very simple trade, guys. Okay, so over this 4060, which everybody's going to be looking for, 4068, whatever makes you feel comfortable. First target, we want to look for this wick right here, which is your 41. 41 psychological number, and then we're going to look for this top, 4150, all the way to this, what is this, 42. We're going to look for this 42 up in this area right here. Okay, we're going to look for this piece right here. That's what we're looking for. Ultimately, I want DAL to, do something like this. Even if it stops right here and then just pulls back, it's going to be okay. But that's the move that I want to see for DAL moving forward. And I want to see it start trending back up. Over that, we're going to look for this top piece, which is your 43. Okay, very simple. 43, 42.85, around there. Just looking for those pieces. I'm giving you those two pieces, and the rest, we're definitely going to start looking for more trend change. So all you really got to do is come up here and grab this top wick. All right. Grab that little base right there, and that's your next target. Okay, you want to grab that wick again. There you go. That's your next target. Very simple. Okay, grab that wick right there. Same thing, right? Grab that candle body, and there's your target. You want to trade this all the way back up. The trend change will happen once this trend line breaks. That trend line breaks, guess what? Everybody else is going to be bullish on DAL. I know there's a lot of news catalysts with the new Delta virus happening. I know there's tons of that stuff that's causing these airlines to lose attraction. But look at the price level. The price level for an investor is amazing. And the fact that we have that trend line, it's even more amazing, right? So we have two things that are freaking awesome that can potentially lead to a trend change. Remember, it doesn't have to happen, but we can definitely prepare for it and look for the in the next few weeks, months, to see airlines start trending up. So DAL, right? The next one that we're going to look for is also BA. BA is going to be something that I want to see trend change for on the bigger time frame, and let me show you why. Okay, so I want this piece right here, this demand. Okay, I want it to become the new demand on the right side as well. So that 229.40 and the 230, as long as we're above, I think we are definitely bullish, and we're looking for that trend change on BA. BA, there's no proper setup right now. I don't believe I can call this an A plus setup or anything like that, but definitely just a price action in itself. It's if we can trade over 232, basically confirm that wick right here. We want to look for this piece right here. It's very tight. The movement for it is getting very tight right here, which I like. So I just want to see it pop. Want to see it hit that 237 ultimately. I want to see like 240 by the end of the week if we do continue to the top side like that. Okay, so again, very simple for BA. I'm just looking for that shift change. I'm looking for this to stay above 230, above all this demand right here, the demand over here, and just continue to the top with some good volume. All right, so that's BA, DAL. But remember, just make sure to look at all the other airlines, guys. All right, don't just stick to those two. Look at AAL, UAL, LUV. Look for all these. If you guys, don't like BA or you don't like DAL, look for the rest. Okay, there's no need to just trade those two specifically, because when I look at a sector, I make sure that I'm aware of what's happening in general in the bigger picture and keeping tabs on everything. Okay, so for this one, in this case, like it's very simple. Put an alert right there at like 52, and just to make sure that the market's trending up, I want to put my next alert right here, 53.60. Just to make sure that I'm getting my alerts so that I'm seeing a nice uptrend. If I want that 56 too, I'll get that alert too. Okay, so there's really no excuse for when you guys say you missed something. If you guys missed something, it's because you did not set an alert, you did not set a plan, you did not bother to look at something. That's why you missed it. So you can't sit there and say that, oh man, I missed this huge move, or we missed this huge move. Well, why didn't you set your alert in the first place? Go do some homework today. Go look at some stocks and see what's at the bottom, what's at the top, what's going to suit you best. Are you going to trade an all-time high breakout, or are you going to trade something that's reversing? I personally would rather trade something that's reversing down here at the bottom and look for this nice move all the way to the top. I want to trade that staircase pattern. I want to be able to capture those. That's why I have plenty of alerts in a lot of the stocks that are downtrending. All right. So make sure you go look at that. All right. All right. Next one, we're going to look at INTC. I like INTC. That is kind of trading at a little base right here. I already kind of broke this one down. But let's look at it, right? Out of INTC in the chips, this one is still a bit behind. This one can fit any size account. And I'm gonna say this once. If you can't trade INTC, then you probably shouldn't be trading. Look at the premiums. They're very, very cheap. This is next week contracts, right? You look at this week's, look at they're 0.50. All right. So this is for any account size, literally. Okay. They're 50 cents, they're $50. Okay. It takes $50. You can use $50 to buy at least 2 lunch meals for your day, and you can literally invest it and double it as long as we get a nice move on ITC. So definitely look out for this play. Let's look at this play. Let's look at the resistance here, resistance here, resistance. The meat of the bone. Okay, this is what I like. The meat of the bone is right here. Okay, all those candle bodies, all those interactions, it's where the pressure is building on INTC, which once that pressure pops, it'll create a nice movement to the top or a nice movement to the downside. And that's going to be up to you to capture that trade. So over that 54, 54, what is this, 54.10? 54.10, 11, whatever makes you feel comfortable. That's where I'm going to go long. Okay. The continuation, 54.50, right? Psychological number, even though right here is 54, what is this? 54.46, and then 54.44. And then we have this 54.55. So 54.50 is like your psychological. Okay. That's going to be the first. If it breaks that, it'll be the continuation. The break happens right here at 54. This is the trend change. This is the confirmation. And then your targets, once you start going, you go look for 55. So here's my alert. 55. Guess what? I won't miss it because I'm setting my alerts. Okay. I'm looking for the bullish side. I'm not looking for the downside. All right. So let's make that clear. It's the only one in the chips that's still lagging behind, and it's still a company that has value for long-term investment. So I don't see it as INTC as a horrible company. I definitely see a lot of value in it. And then definitely the chart is kind of pacing out right here. So make sure you keep track of INTC, okay? The other one is BYND. Okay, BYND is going to be a side chart. I personally don't like to trade it just because it has aggressive moves. So if you are trading BYND, the characteristics of this stock, it likes to pump, but the pullback is aggressive. So because I trail every position, it's very hard to enter something like this and to trail it, because the minute I start to trail it is the minute that I stop out in the green. And the catalyst that comes with BYND can be aggressive as well. It literally pumps and dumps on any catalyst. Okay, you guys can go back and check them. But what I do like about this setup is that on the weekly time frame, this is what I want you guys to see when we talk about supply and demand. Supply and demand comes on the larger time frames. Once it lands in that larger time frame, the bigger the move is, and the more pressure that it'll build, and the more confidence it'll give you to enter one of these trades, and keep it very, very simple. Okay. First of all, I'm gonna grab these candle bodies. What is that? 125. I'm gonna grab these wicks right here because this is the area where it showed a lot of support. 120.38. Okay. 124. You can just say 121 just to round it off. Okay. Simple. This is your demand. All right. Your next resistance, look where we went. Right here. You see that? That's the resistance right here. We try to stay up top, but we couldn't. So it's this whole bottom. Now I want to grab these this candle body right here, which is your 136.50. Okay, that's what I'm grabbing as a supply right now. This here, we try to stay on top. We try to trend on top of that 144, and we couldn't hold, so we just came back down to demand. So now that we have those two pieces, that's all I really care about. You can technically buy this stock right here and then stop out right here at this wick. Okay, and I'm talking about like shares. Now I go on the 180, the 4-hour time frame, and it's done with earnings, and then it showed a green candle the next day. The resistance right here is at 125. Okay, you see all that resistance? So from the 125, guys, this is what it means, right? You're on the weekly demand. When you're on a weekly demand, you automatically go into the next level, the next zone, which is your next supply. All right. Most traders like to just take profits, you know, on the first quick move. And it's like you have these $2 moves and it makes sense. Take profit, definitely. But I'm looking for the bigger trade. Like I always say, that if something is at demand, if it's at support, why aren't you buying it? Okay. So I have 2 plans for this. One, buy the breakout over 125. Anything over 125. I'm going to take it as long as I potentially can to this 135 and 136.50. This is a supply. Okay. It's a huge area of supply, but I just want to get this target right here. That's my ultimate target. It doesn't have to happen this week. It can definitely happen next week. But that's my target. So yes, swing trade. First plan over 125. Okay. That's your entry on the breakout. Second plan, if we fail to hold or if we get a pullback Monday, I want to buy the dip right here, this 120. The 120 is my dip buy. 120 to 121 around there is going to be my dip buy. My stop loss, 119. Okay. two things: breakout over 125 or buy the dip at 120 to 121. All right, as low as you can with your stop loss at 119. Very simple trade, guys. Two plans with the target of way up here. The target, just because it's up here, doesn't mean you have to hold till it's up there. You can take profit right here, okay, which is your 128. You see that wick? That's my first target. 128.50 to 129. Second target's going to be up here, which is your 132. 132 to 132.50 around there. And then that's when you have the 134, and then that's when we see the supply. All right, so very easy trade for BYND. Things to look for: volume, market sentiment, maybe an upgrade or something, a good catalyst that can cause this, BYND to trend up. But it's definitely at a demand on the weekly time frame. All right, so I'll leave you guys with that. So that's BA, DAL, INTC, BYND. And just please go take a look at financials, guys. Make this very, keep your homework. When you look at a sector, make sure you look at all of it, okay? Don't miss out or leave one out. Set alerts. It doesn't mean you have to trade every single one, but definitely look out for each individually stock that you can set an alert, and just to know on the back of your head that it's trending while you're in your long position for, like, let's say DAL. If you're long on DAL, you want to make sure that you get those alerts for UAL, AAL, and even BA. Okay, you just want to make sure that you get those alerts to the top. All right. So that's BYND, INTC, DAL, BA. And then let's do one more. Let's do Starbucks. Look at Starbucks. I had this charted already. Okay. So I want to show you something that happened to Starbucks. It had earnings, and the earnings, it just dropped. Okay. So here we have a high. Here we have the breakout. And then here we have that run up with basically a new high. Now what's happening is that because of that earnings, it dropped and it created a base. Okay. So drop, base, drop. Here's your base. Here's your drop. Here's your base. So again, the base, it's either going to drop down or push up. Okay. So entries for Starbucks. I'm gonna let you guys do this. 119.50. Okay. You can do 119.45, but 119.50 kind of psychological. So 119.50 break above. Let's go long. First target about 120, 120.50, 121 potentially. Yeah, 121. If it wants to keep going, let's go look for 122. Starbucks below this 118. You can wait till you break this wick, 117.50. Break below. Your first target is way down here, which is your 115. So it could be a nice drop for Starbucks if it continues to drop. So either one, whichever one, make sure you're ready for both. Okay. So I'll leave you guys with that. Hopefully this helps you for the weekly watch list and gives you an idea of what to look for and what the risk to reward is on some of these plays. But definitely DAL is going to be one of my top ones that I'm personally going to be watching. Remember characteristics for BYND. INTC is the one that's lagging a little bit behind. And then Starbucks we have, and then financials. Please make sure you guys go chart those. They have potential to keep on running and keep on breaking out. All right. So I'll leave you guys with that, guys. Hopefully this helps you understand a little more of what I look for. And not just that, but the setups that are on here. They're pretty amazing. It's very simple. Good trade plans that you guys can take any size of accounts. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one, guys. And for sure, look out for some more videos this week at Conservative Collectors. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.